Welcome to episode 59 of Winging It. Keep calm and be in 12th. We're back where we belong and all is right in the world. Well, it's not all right in the world because already a couple of days in on the other side of the pond and Elon Musk is having to call Wayne Hennessy's PR group. You can imagine Roy Hodgson coming out and go, certainly where Elon Musk is concerned, he is actually very desperate now to learn as much as he can about the Nazis. Do you know what is really interesting as well? I actually, in Googling Wayne Hennessy and his Nazi salute, you can read the investigation notes. They are on the internet.
Fucking hell.
Pulled out a little extract. This is not a bit. This is actually verbatim from the investigation. Mr. Hennessy categorically denied that he was giving a Nazi salute. Indeed, from the outset, he said that he did not even know what one was. Improbable as that may seem to those of us of an older generation, we do not reject that assertion as untrue. In fact, when cross-examined about this, Mr. Hennessy displayed a very considerable, one might even say lamentable degree of ignorance about anything to do with Hitler, fascism, and the Nazi regime. Regrettable though it may be that anyone should be unaware of so important part of our own and world history, we do not feel we should therefore find he was not telling the truth about this. All we would say, at the risk of sounding patronising, is that Mr. Hennessy would be well advised to familiarise himself with events which continue to have great significance to those who live in a free country.
Up the palace.
Well done, Wayne. You made us all look like dickheads. Oh, let's crack open this beer. Hello, Hesketh, by the way. You are here as well in the background, just giggling.
I am, yeah. I am. I'm just waiting with bated breath to see what you're about to drink.
This week...
Excuse Hesketh, he's just going on and cancelling his Tesla order.
That is a very bright pink can you've got there, Eli.
It is. It's from Drop Project, and it's a hazy pale ale, and it's called Crush, in honour of what we did to West Ham on the weekend.
Very good.
Very good. Nice. And it is good, I think. Yes, very nice. Oh. But then just like Albert takes a big swig from a dirty, filthy can of Heineken.
Man of the people. Do you know what I mean?
He looked so happy as well. He took that massive swig and had a big smile on his face.
It's my first beer for at least 3 days, so it's going down very well.
Nice.
We we went to Crate Brewery before West Ham on the weekend, and one of our friends came in the middle of dry January, and he lasted about half an hour before we just browbeated him to giving up and started drinking.
Fair enough. Good work for derailing someone's positive intentions to try and be a bit better. Well done for bringing him down.
I know. I've been sending him Instagram posts all week of just like people talking about being on dry January and then it just breaking into the with no one cares across the middle. It's very good.
No one cares about your high liver function.
Who needs a liver anyway?
Yeah.
Get gout like the rest of us.
Fucking hell. Wouldn't wish that on anyone. Even Elon Musk. No, actually, I'll take that back.
Yeah, he can definitely get gout.
If he could get gout in the sort of arm area, that'd be great. So stop him pulling that shit.
Albert, you got to see the women's game against Arsenal.
Yeah, didn't get to see the rip-roaring demolition of West Ham, but did get to see Palace ladies, unfortunately, get torn apart by Arsenal at Boreham Wood. So it was a good turn. I mean, I was in fact, I wanted to talk to you about it. The reason I found myself at Arsenal Palace ladies is my sister's new girlfriend is a huge Arsenal fan, and my sister seems to have taken a stance of, we all do things for our new partners, don't we, when you're all in love and whatever. But she seems to have taken a stance of men's team, I'm still Palace through and through. Women's team, sort of Arsenal fan. And it's such a unique set of circumstances. I don't think I'm happy with it.
I'm not happy with it.
I'm not happy with that.
Palace have got a women's team.
Exactly.
If we didn't have one, I still wouldn't be happy with it, but it would be a bit better.
No,
but we do.
To her credit, after halfway through the second half, she did say, "I never want to do this again. I didn't enjoy it." So I think she's come round. But so we were basically in the fucking Arsenal end, which I guess it's less dicey than if it was in like the Premier League game, particularly when you got children with you. One of which is carrying his Crystal Palace 2024-2025 annual, and looking at the women's page and playing spot the basically like Palace ladies bingo, spot the player on the page, and so yeah, it was a tough game. They did well to only go in 1-0 down in the first half and had a couple of really good chances, but as we know, Arsenal ladies they're just leagues that literally, well, not literally, they're in the same league, but they might as well be leagues ahead. Players like Leah Williamson just class above. So it was a noble effort, but alas.
Well, talking about leagues ahead, Donny's been moved to the Monday night, which great news, means I can make it because I'll be back from my Elise excursion in Munich. So
nice.
But today, the club announced the coaches to Doncaster away and went up at 55 quid, and the internet lost its collective mind.
55 quid for the Palace coach?
Yeah.
Christ.
And everyone's just like, this has been moved to a Monday for TV. It's in Doncaster. You're having a laugh. These coaches should be free, and Palace very quickly backtracked and made them free.
Made them £54.
Yeah, $54.99.
All right, okay, okay.
53 for senior citizens.
Yeah. To be fair, though, we talked about this before the West Ham game, because you and I are going, Terence, and I didn't realise that the trains to Doncaster are only like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, and tickets are quite. Yeah.
Why the fuck have I booked a 2:30 train? Oh God, I'm going to be a mess.
Yeah, and so I'm going up there with Vanessa. We've bought a return train ticket and a hotel, so we're staying over because we want to see the beautiful sights of Doncaster. Yes, Albert.
Have you been before?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Had my eyes closed though. And the return ticket and a hotel was like less than 100 quid, all in for both of us. So it's not too bad.
Didn't Max Myers score last time we went to Donny?
He did. I wasn't at that one. I can tell you, I know exactly where I was that day. I was having lunch in a prison in Brixton.
Oh.
Yeah. You can go and have lunch in the prison just down Brixton Hill, cooked for by the inmates. And my mate wanted to do it for her birthday on the day that we played Doncaster away in the cup, so I couldn't go Doncaster.
Does it come in a metal tray?
When 6-7 from Brixton are rapping about cooking, I assumed they were talking about crack, not for you and Vanessa.
No, it was beef bourguignon, actually. It was delicious.
I lived slap bang opposite for 3 years. Nobody told me I could pop in there for a fucking ploughman's.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say something about snitching, but I won't. Did you see England throughout the Euros? All the members of the squad and the staff were playing Traitors for the entire Euros. Have you heard about this?
No.
Albert's shaking his head. Yep. So 36 of the squad and backroom staff were playing Traitors across the whole summer. And the eventual winner was none other than Mark Gay as a traitor.
Wow.
And then I thought about it, so it doesn't really surprise me, because you probably wouldn't, like his face, you just wouldn't expect him to be a traitor in those scenarios.
God-loving man as well.
It's a game. Werewolf, I think, is the original name of it, or Mafia. I think it was made by a Russian student, but it's been popularized by a TV show called Traitors, where you have a bunch of contestants and the traitors murder people and the rest have to find out who the traitors are. So Mark Gay, traitor from the beginning, won it.
Doesn't bode well, does it?
Well, he didn't go to Newcastle in the summer, so although that's probably because he's trying to run down his contract so he can get a big signing on bonus in a year's time. No, I don't know if that's true at all. So well done to Mark Gay. Congratulations. I think it was Kieran Trippier he beat in the final, and the chef. There was a chef and Kieran Trippier who were faithful, and Mark Gay beat them off.
He did what?
They were faithful until that point, by the sounds of it. The chef as well. Fucking hope he washed his hands.
Justin Kluivert, this is just a completely random fact that I enjoyed this week, has now scored more goals at St James's Park than Patrick Kluivert did, his dad.
That's a very good stat.
Patrick Kluivert literally played for Newcastle.
Not for very long, though.
He was there.
More than
wasn't he?
Yeah, more than a game.
Was he on loan there, maybe for half a season?
Something like that.
Yeah, I remember it not going particularly well for him.
No.
But someone we hope it will go well for is SA at Palace. All now agreed. Hesketh, he came across really well, didn't he, in those interviews? Very confident young man.
Yeah, he did. It was a great sort of first impression of him. Looked very keen to get going. Spoke really well. Sort of belies the fact that he had anything to do with Millwall, which is good. And apparently seems to be friends with David Ozzo, who was very apparent in his first day at the club videos. So, yeah, a really good start. I'm looking forward to seeing him on the pitch.
Has Ozzo been playing for Derby, or is he still injured?
He's still injured. I think he's coming back now. So he's probably back at Palace.
Older, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's grown up a lot. He looks older, doesn't he? He looks like a man now.
Yeah. There was a picture of them both sort of holding SA shirt up, and Ozzo is absolutely dwarfing him. Like he's towering over him and he looks like an absolute tank.
Yeah, hopefully he comes back and can find the form from the beginning of the season. But yeah, excited for SA to come in. And yeah, I mean, Glasner was keen to point out that he's still got a way to go. So probably, even if it's like Eze and Elise start to see the best of him in a year's time, but little flashes of it up until then, I think that's good enough for what we need now, particularly off the bench, to just have a bit of a unknown factor when needed. So
yeah, well, I think that's it. There's not, we're not blessed with options off the bench at the moment. So there's no real reason why he can't, pick up 5 minutes here and there. Because like you say, there's no other choice at the moment. So we might as well get him in amongst it whilst we can. Yeah.
Also bumps Jeff down the pecking order a little bit more. So.
Schlupp.
No comment.
Yes. Not
Schlupp, yes.
Yeah, not scout leader.
Not scout leader, Jeff. No. Any other transfer news? Wilfried Zaha has joined the MLS.
Who cares?
Well,
hey. Whoa.
Sorry, it just came out. I'm sorry.
But he's gone to Charlotte FC in North Carolina. But apparently there was some confusion because he signed for them thinking it was in North Carolina, born and raised in the playground is where I spent most of our days, but he didn't realise it was West Philadelphia.
Charlotte and Carolina. Sounds like a great night. What was Moyes' daughter called?
Dakota, I think. Different state.
Idaho Moyes.
Right state, by the sound of it.
No, Idaho Moyes sounds like something that would be in a beer I drink. No, so good luck to Wilf out there. I did realise very quickly I do have a friend that lives in North Carolina and he's already said if you want to come and watch him, I'll put you up. So
Nice.
Road
any
trip?
any noticeable ex-Premier League talent at North Carolina?
Tim Ream plays for them.
Tim Ream.
Remember him? The Fulham player, American guy?
American Fulham man, yeah.
And there was someone else.
Dean Smith's the coach.
Yeah, that's it.
Ex-Villa boss.
Nice.
Should we have a little Google of North Carolina? No, what are they called? Charlotte FC.
Charlotte FC. Ashley Westwood plays for them, if you remember him.
Ashley Westwood. That's a name that rings a bell.
Wilfried Zaha is already, when you Google them, ranked like the first player that comes up for them on their squad list. Patrick
First
Adjimang.
player on their roster. Patrick Adjimang.
Adjimang, it rings a bell.
I had a look at it. Not the same one.
Not the same one. Okay.
Oh, it's not the same one.
Oh yeah, it's not that one.
This guy plays for the national team,
Good news. They've got lots of alliteration throughout their team. They've got Brant Bronico, which is nice. They've got Digibil Diani.
That's a good name.
And in fantastic scenes, they've got Ben Bender.
Yeah. What else would you call your son?
Indeed, but I don't recognise anyone else, to be honest.
Are they a fairly new team? I feel like they're
got-
quite new.
Founded 2019.
Yeah, there you go.
Who owns them? David Tepper.
You've got no history.
They've probably got a trophy already.
Yeah,
that we don't have.
they ain't got the ZDS, have they?
They've got the ZDS.
ZDS. Yeah, that's
Zhar.
Right. Okay, right. Enough about Charlotte. And last bit of transfer news: Adam Arolo is back from Stockport, although I think technically he's been back since Christmas. Notts County next for him on loan, I think. So, go on.
No, yeah. I mean, I think he needs another loan. I read Wigan were interested in him as well. Kind of a shame it didn't work out for him at Stockport, but he needs something.
Yeah, needs some game time.
Yeah.
Right. Usually I just drop quizzes on you without telling you anything about them, but I gave you a chance this week. So, first up, thanks to listener Chris Windsor for sending this question in. And it's a doozy.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I got nothing done today.
And the question is, 6 players who have played for Palace are the all-time top Premier League scorer for a club that's played in the Premier League. Name the players in the club in which they are the top scorer for. And this excludes our own top scorer. So Zaha for Palace isn't an answer. So there's 6 of them, and I need the name and the club. So you've both of you have said you've got shoo-ins. So
I'm not going to say who mine are yet, but a name has just popped into my head.
Oh yeah,
because
I wonder what that keyboard tapping sound was.
There's no keyboard near me. I was saying to Terence earlier today, when he sent the text, I spent probably more than I should thinking of answers. And then I hope no one that I work with listens to this, and then realised that my Teams messenger on my work laptop was going absolutely mad, and I realised that it was time to do what I'm paid to do.
Okay,
but
so Albert, go on then, you can shoot first.
So what are we doing? We're just going backwards and forwards?
Yeah, just for now. So
okay,
Hesketh can say if he's got or needs.
Got needs. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the low hanging fruit that is Christian Benteke, Aston Villa.
No, I think that's wrong.
Yep.
Is that wrong?
Villa's top Premier League goal scorer is Agbong Lahore on 74. Now, see, what I've done here is I've actually gone and researched what I thought you'd get wrong. So that's why I have that answer to hand.
The only reason I didn't have him on mine was because I thought if he was Villa's top Premier League scorer or whatever, we would have heard about it quite a bit because we've signed him.
That's the first name I wrote down. Was like, I'm 1 for 1, and it's downhill from here.
Oh,
so, right, low hanging fruit.
The real low hanging fruit is it, Hesketh?
Well, I think all of the three that I was very confident about, I feel very confident about. But now I'm like, am I that confident?
Christian Benteke was in the 3 that I was confident about.
Kevin Phillips.
Yes.
Or
Sunderland.
Yes, very good. 61 goals. He is Sunderland's top scorer. Correct answer.
Because he definitely scored more for them than Connor Wickham.
I think, would Noel Quinn be second or something? I don't know. Who did you have, Albert? Did you have Kevin Phillips as well?
Kevin Phillips was the 4th one I wrote down. I'm just going to go down my list. Okay. I went for... oh, fuck's sake. I went for Kevin Doyle, Reading.
Oh,
very good. Correct.
That was my punt.
Goals.
Great shout. That was my punt. Just because I mentioned Kevin Doyle to someone after West Ham, so he was for some reason in my head.
Yeah.
Very good. So you've got 2 of the 6 between you. Go on, Hesketh. Who's next on yours?
I think their top scorer can't have that many in the Premier League. Oh no, I'm not sure. I'm going to say it. Glenn Murray for Brighton.
No.
Fuck.
Pascal Gross is
not on my list.
Brighton's top scorer.
Of course, because he didn't play for them in the fucking Premier League, did he? Silly me.
Okay, go on then, Albert.
Okay, I'm going to go, again, bit of a gamble. Stan Collymore?
Nope, not on the list.
Not for Forest?
Not for Forest, no. Forest top scorer, because I think he scored these goals for Forest pre-Premier League, maybe?
I'm sure he had one barnstormer of a season.
Yeah, but it's not him anyway.
Fuck.
We're shit at this game. Right. This one's older.
Yep.
So, fuck. I don't know if any of mine are right now. I'm going to say Mark Bright for Sheffield Wednesday.
48 goals, correct.
48 in the Premier League.
Did he play enough in the Premier League? But then he left us when the Premier League started, right? So
didn't he leave the second Premier League season he went there, didn't he? 93, 94, I imagine,
I was trying to think of teams that haven't been in it as much.
Yeah, I did. Well, that leads me on to my next one. I can't believe these words coming out of my mouth. Is one of them Jordan Much for Cardiff?
Oh my God, such a shout.
It is. Jordan Much with 7 goals is Cardiff's all-time Premier League.
Oh my God.
And for full disclosure, because I started doing the whole, okay, it's got to be someone that hasn't been, it's got to be for teams that haven't been in the Premier League long, because let's face it, they're the players that we're fucking slamming it with. And I wrote down Jordan Much / Fraser Campbell for Cardiff, but I've plumped for Much because it's the most unrealistic one possible.
Yeah, and Fraser Campbell was already playing for us in the season. They were in the Premier League, wasn't he? Didn't we sign him the same season they came up? Maybe.
Yeah. At one point, I thought Fraser Campbell, Hull, but I didn't write that one down because I didn't think that was viable. And I've only got one more.
Well, my last one, which I've definitely spelt wrong. I've just written it down, and I've spelt it wrong, and I'm absolutely now not sure that it is right. I'm going to hold it up to the camera and see if anyone can read my writing.
For sale. For who? For Chelsea?
No, Birmingham. He played for Birmingham, didn't he?
Mikel Forsell, 29, is correct for Birmingham City.
Okay. I
Just
had the
'cause,
right.
I was thinking of Clinton.
Well,
and then I was like, I think it was him.
That was my last proper roll of the dice. Fuck it. Was it Clinton Morrison for Birmingham? But no, it wasn't. It was Mikel Forsell.
Okay, so 5 of the 6.
Jordan Much is such a great shout. I never would have got that.
No, he's
Jordan
not. He's a cunt.
I was had to be heavily hinted to get to Jordan Much because, I couldn't get there. And then they said he was signed by Pardew and you hated him. I was like, it can't be.
that was the last one I wrote down because it got a bit right. Okay, teams that haven't been in the Premier League very long. Okay, and and that's how I sort of got to Kevin Doyle as well. It's got to be people that one season wonders, whether that be 7 goals for Cardiff or whatever Kevin Doyle got. How many did you say Kevin Doyle got?
19. It was across a couple of seasons. Reading had a couple of seasons, didn't they?
Yeah.
So you're missing one. You got to go back all the way to the 90s. And one of the goals, it was one season, and one of the goals, he did score against us in an absolute screamer at Selhurst Park. In 97-98, we lost 1-0. Early doors in the season.
97-98.
Oh, we lost at home all the time.
Marcus Bent?
No, he was playing for us that season.
Oh, okay.
It's for Barnsley.
Oh, Neil Redfern.
Neil Redfern, there you go.
Fucking hell. I definitely wouldn't have got that. Bloody hell.
So other ones that I thought you might get a little bit of, people I thought might have gone for Phillips for Blackpool as well, but he was obviously post-Premier League. DJ Campbell was their top scorer. And I was wondering if anyone would go Shipley for Wimbledon or something like that. But, no. Way off.
Who was he beaten off by?
Sorry?
Who was he beaten off by in that?
Himself, wasn't he?
Wimbledon top. Oh, come on.
Yeah. Dean Holdsworth.
Dean Holdsworth, of course.
Holding is not what Shipley should have been doing. Right. Okay, welcome back. We are now going to talk about West Ham, our 600 Premier League match. It was
600. Wow.
Most of them in the last 12 years, really.
Yeah.
But, do you want to rank them?
Well, I can quite easily say that in 600th was Swansea 5, Crystal Palace 4. Promptly followed by Sunderland 4, Palace 1. Did we pull one back in that game? I can never remember.
No,
we did not.
Yeah, there's your 2 at that end of the spectrum. And it was a game that produced our first victory on a Saturday this season.
Oh, I was going to say not in 600. I'm sure I can remember one before that.
These Premier League fixtures are all over the place these days.
The thing is, I'd have believed it.
Yeah, no. First time we've won on a Saturday this season. Stockport was Sunday in the Cup.
And what a victory that was.
The League Cup victories came in midweek, so none on a Saturday.
Sorry, this year or this season?
This season.
Fucking hell. Okay, I'm in your hands. I'm taking your word for
it. Good job. Good day, weren't it, Hesketh? Nice, as I said earlier up in the piece, we went to Crate Brewery in Hackney Wick. Nice vibe in there.
Really nice vibe.
Yeah, highly recommended for away goers in the future there.
They even have, I hate to use the term wanky, but they have a bit of the wanky taproom vibe. But there is something just called lager. So I just had a lager, which was quite nice. Terry's getting very upset at me calling it a wanky taproom vibe.
I was actually getting rather disconcerted by P. Diddy just over Albert's shoulder on his TV.
What? Oh, fuck on the TV. Fucking hell.
He's come to buy Palace at long last.
Fucking hell.
That was a very different vibe to the one that we experienced on Saturday.
Wanky, but not a tap room.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, but
Move
yeah, so,
I have a pint of baby oil, please.
very, very slick.
Yeah. Not that sort of neck oil.
Oh my god.
I need to move on. I had a new work colleague join, and he found out about my podcast, and he listens now. So he's going to be looking at me weirdly across the room tomorrow.
Is he your superior or your?
Oh no. He's
no.
He's my underling.
No such thing, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's tough at the top. It's getting tougher.
No. He's just very young. Like, everyone under the age of 30 seems like a kid to me these days. I've got to that level of age where everyone else is a young upstart. So
do a show of hands and ask them if any of them have heard of, let alone seen, Face Off. You'll be shocked.
Well, Wayne Hennessy hadn't even heard of the Nazis. So. Every broken Britain, that's what it is. But I'd love to talk about the first half of the game, but my God, was it shit. Not much happened other than a Mateta snapshot really from range, which good save from Fabianski. It was probably going in.
Yeah.
But yeah, a bit of a nothing game, wasn't it?
It was. I thought we were comfortably better than them, even though neither team didn't do huge amounts. We just looked a bit more comfortable on the ball. We definitely moved it around much better than we had done against Leicester the week before. So that was nice. But yeah, we didn't really create much of note. We were I think you were sort of stood a few rows behind me. We were sort of by the West Ham fans. Have some right little dickheads to my right, which was great when we won, because they were getting very lippy, and then all of a sudden we're not quite so lippy anymore. But yeah, first half pretty boring, but yeah, I felt we were the better team, and I think we came out in the second half a lot better.
What I found really interesting was at half time or throughout the game, which there was a quiz at half time where West Ham fans were struggling to answer questions about West Ham that I just thought were extremely easy and could answer immediately. So I missed out on a chance to win a signed Aaron Wan-Bissaka shirt, because if I was out there, I would have slaughtered all of those West Ham fans. But because the game was so boring, I kept getting drawn towards the sponsors on the screen that they were running through on a sort of loop, and I just got transfixed on them, because they were, I don't know, it was probably 15 on this loop, and they had the worst logos that I've ever seen for companies claiming to be global companies. And I come to the conclusion that it's money laundering. They're not real companies. They don't exist. It's just the West Ham owners laundering money into the club.
Was it adverts for dildos?
It wasn't an advert for Net 88, was it?
Shout out Simon Jordan.
Do you want to? Can you quote it off the top of your head?
Well, listen, I've listened to his book for 26 hours. I can
just on a loop.
Name an anecdote, mate. I'll give it to you. What is it?
If I see another David Gold interview on the poor East End Jewish boy done good, I'll impale myself on one of his dildos.
Nice. Was that in the Observer?
6 hours of that just on loop in Albert's head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We can all only dream about being impaled on a dildo.
I won't, but you know. You crack on, mate.
Yeah, but the second half obviously got much better at it. Starting with Jean-Philippe Mateta absolutely skinning Mavropanos with a step over and a nutmeg. Before, I mean, he still looks like a giraffe, like skating around on ice when he does those things, and it is very amusing. But it's also extremely effective now, and especially with his like acceleration of the spot, the way he'd completely squared up Mavropanos, there was nothing he could really do other than bring him down. Up there as one of the worst Premier League centre-backs you've ever seen. I mean, he's fucking pony.
He's crap. I will say about JP's step over and nutmeg. The last time I saw him do a step over and like motor, that Greaves of Ipswich ended up on his arse. So even if he only pulls that step over once in a sort of 3 or 4 games, it's effective. But yeah, that Mavropanos is shit. Like I think he gave the ball away to Edouard when we equalised last year as well.
He did.
He's just, every time I see him on telly, he looks crap. Every time I see him play against Palace, he looks crap. And I mean, he got skinned. Well, maybe not skinned for the second one, but he definitely got rinsed by Mateta and then booted him in the head. So I'm like, I don't even think he can complain that he got sent off. He's just shit.
But these sort of step overs and nutmegs are just cementing Albert Mateta's the modern day Barclaysman of the Premier League. He's just becoming more and more iconic.
He's got to be careful with those step overs because they're so unwieldy that he's at risk of getting booked for a high boot. Like, because it's just legs everywhere. Yeah, and it's, it was the same part of the pitch, wasn't it? It was sort of him peeling out on that left side, and yeah, absolutely. I think mugging off, as someone has referred to it, that Mavropanos, and it was couldn't argue with either of those yellow cards, and it was sort of, again, it's good to see Mateta getting back to the form he started showing this time last year. So good for him.
Yeah, well, there's, I mean, loads of stats flying around, pictures of graphs and all sorts. So he's only Isak, Palmer, and Haaland have outscored him in the Premier League in the last year. He's scored the same amount of goals as Salah since the 1st of February last year.
There you go.
Just seems, it's crazy, really. And especially when you get like Chris Wood, he scored 3 more goals than Chris Wood in that time as well, who is everyone's new poster child. So, back.
And yet Albert still hates him.
I don't hate him. What's going on?
But what's beautiful is that he's now scored 3 games in a row. And for once in my life, I've not put a fantasy football league curse on a player, because that was when I transferred him in. And it's paying dividends. So I'm taking full credit for his upturn in form. Nothing to do with we're playing a bunch of shit teams. It's got nothing to do with it. He's a world beater.
Yeah, he's playing really well. He is, and if the team carries on, the whole team is on the upward curve, particularly in the second halves of games. Like you say, the first half against West Ham was, they were genuinely bad, but they're a team that's got a new manager, probably a worse injury sort of situation than we have. So you can kind of, if they don't have the new manager bounce, which they seem to have already had a few games before we played them, they're still in a bit of a sorry state, and a sort of, I'm surprised to see them where they were in the table, to be honest, because the narrative around West Ham and Lopetegui was like, oh, he's got to go, they're shit, and they, obviously they weren't great, but there's in no real danger. But to see us sort of, whilst not being great in that first half, but like Hesketh said, we were, if anyone deserved to be 1-0 up at half time, it was us. But kudos aside, they were sort of very, very average, and he was the only one that ever seemed to be sort of causing the slightest bit of problems. And then second half, obviously Glasner's said whatever he said, and we've come out and looked, a drastically different team, and just the passing just seemed to click, and we're a little bit more on the front foot. And it was that perseverance and that a bit more directness, particularly Mateta running around city centre halves that's paid the dividends.
It was really interesting because I started to get really frustrated with a row of people behind me. Now, when you get a group of friends, you're not sure why they go to games because they're just miserable about everything. Albert, you'd love them. Get in the row behind.
Come on,
away. But it was hilarious because they were just moaning constantly about us not getting the ball forward quickly enough. And then in the move where I think we string together 14 or 15 passes for the goal, here we go again, boring, back it goes. Oh God, it's so boring. And then we just go ping, 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 and Mateta's through on goal and like just drilling it home from 20 yards. And then even more amusingly, found a very nice stat that says only Forest, Bournemouth and Everton progress play upfield in open play sequences faster than Palace. So
wow.
We actually do move the ball forward very fast.
Now, listen, I'm not trying to join in with the people behind you. There is the odd occasion where we could, because of Mateta. It's not through a lack of impatience or just fucking get up there. I think it's out of the fact that we can go even more direct if we wanted to from time to time, purely because it's not a style of football I'm saying that I love and I want to see, but because Mateta is such a handful, and the other players do tend to be getting around him a bit better and linking up. We shouldn't be afraid of going what we will call traditionally long from time to time. So I do see an argument for it, but obviously we'd all rather see 15, 16 pass moves end in lovely goals like Mateta's, but I don't think we should be afraid to knock it every now and then.
But I guess it's additional strings to our bow, right? We can do the 15, 16 passes. We can also lump one pass up and a flick on from Mateta and Sars in behind. So it gives teams a lot of different problems to have to think about. So
yeah,
it works really well. Yeah, I mean, in terms of moving the ball forward quicker, my only criticism this season is Eze. I think Ebbs is slowing play down quite a lot. Maybe it's maybe he's being told to do it. Maybe keep possession of the ball a little bit more, let other people get involved. Pull people out of position by slowing it down, and hopefully Sar can spin off in behind you. And I guess we started to get that more as West Ham had to come out. We then found that it was actually Mateta linking the play incredibly well, and starts off with putting Nketiah through 1-on-1, and Nketiah's first touch, he finds himself staring down Fabianski's whites, and in real time in the game, Hesketh, it felt like he's made a hash of that chance. But when you watch it back, I think Fabianski does stand up really well, so he kind of has to try to go around him, and then Fabianski just does a good job. And I think even if he gets it past him, Wan-Bissaka's on the line anyway and probably stops it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just quickly to go back to what you were saying about Sar and Eze there, in the link up for the first goal, Sar's chested pass to Eze is fucking great. And also there, that was an example of Eze hitting that pass first time to JP. And you can see when JP gets on that and he's running that channel, what happens. But yeah, JP, I mean, certainly in the second half, like you say, his link-up play was brilliant. Like the touch and sort of slide pass to Nketiah for that chance was brilliant. I think Nketiah did everything right. I think if he had a shot first time, he probably would have hit it straight at the goalie. And I agree, Wan-Bissaka was on the line anyway, so not having to go there. But for the penalty, JP carried that ball up and across the pitch so well. Like he is really ungainly. He does look weird when he's running like that because you sort of think like he can't be that hard to get the ball off. But he just looked so good, and he played a perfect ball through, and it was a great run from Nketiah, and that was an Andy Johnson type penalty. Just get there before the goalie, take a tumble. And a lot of people, Albert, to give you a lot of credit, I had multiple people talk to me about how you called that penalty last week on the pod. I can see you nodding sagely.
Yeah, I obviously knew it was going to happen.
And you manifested it.
Yeah. Let's have another one this weekend. I think there's something. Obviously, we're in a system now where due to fitness and whatever, we're not, we're never going to play, or we're very, very unlikely to start Nketiah and Mateta at the same time. But I think, West Ham was a good example of if there was a system, and I'm not saying that we should find a player to sacrifice and change the shape, but I think there is, there's signs that if there was a way of playing Mateta and Nketiah up front, there does seem to be a little bit more understanding and chance creation, and Mateta's hold up play in that sort of, I'm not going to get carried away here, in that sort of slightly more Harry Kane, come a bit deeper, get the ball, try and do something, and then amble into the box. There's definitely something there, and it's a shame really that it's not something we can play for any longer than the odd bit at 20 minutes before the end of a game, because I think Nketiah would be the one to really benefit from it. But yeah, we're obviously, we've got our system. Mateta's now hitting form. He's only going to make life harder for Nketiah.
Yeah, and Mateta's made himself so indispensable in that role, in the way links play, as well as the goals continuing to come. It makes it really difficult for Nketiah, which makes it, you're fighting for one of those spaces behind with Sarr, who has made himself undroppable, and Eze, who's he's not going to lose his place in the team, is he? So it makes it doubly difficult for Nketiah, and he's just got to try and grasp those chances. If he somehow finds a way to slot past Fabianski to make it 2-0, and then he wins the penalty, maybe is something you have to think about a little bit more for the next game. But
was anybody thinking Nketiah for the pen?
I think Nketiah was thinking Nketiah for the pen.
Wasn't there a thing at Arsenal for a bit that the person who got fouled took the penalty? So maybe he just sort of had that.
What if they were really hurt?
Yeah, I just, if the game was 2-0.
If it was 2-0, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And I mean, it is, I say it all the time now to just, I'm against jinxes now. So every time Mateta gets a penalty, he's about to take one, I loudly let everybody know that he's never missed a penalty in his career. And this was the closest it come to fame.
Yeah, don't fucking say it next time, will you?
Yeah, it was, but it was one of the ones. It was so bad that Fabianski had dived past it, basically. So found it difficult to keep out.
Sucker.
But it was probably because we were talking about it after. He's fucking knackered. It's like 90th minute penalties must be like extremely difficult in terms of just mental fatigue and physical fatigue all set in across the game. So yeah, he's put it away. It's a goal on the scorer's book. It says goal. And that's it. Penalty. Doesn't matter how it went in.
Bosh.
I think you'll find it's boom. Whatever. How did you find his celebration for the first goal? It was a bit of everything in there, wasn't it?
It was so good. It's like someone had hit all the buttons on the PlayStation.
Yeah. Just spamming the taunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got some waves, some smiles, some jump and punch in the air, kicking the corner flag. Lovely.
Yeah, it was great. It was.
Yeah, another great day out at the London Stadium. I think it's it was our first away win in London since Elise against West Ham.
Yep.
In the last minute in 2022. And I think it's one of two away wins in 23 in London, potentially. I seem to vaguely remember seeing a stat, something like that.
Great.
Although I'm not, don't take my word on that one. That was using that was amateurish. I haven't done enough research into that.
Well, good to hear how shit our away form in London is when tickets for Fulham go on sale tomorrow.
Indeed. Buy a ticket for Fulham tomorrow. A couple of interesting things at the end of the game. So last few minutes, Potter, what's the score, was buoyant. And it's happened again. Although, I mean, I can't say it's happened again, really, because It was quite. There was no way West Ham put in that performance that Brighton had put in that day at the Amex during COVID. But yeah. And then one other interesting fact: what was interesting about the way the game ended, in terms of personnel on the pitch? Both stunned into silence.
Kevin Doyle. Say it again. Whoa.
What was not unusual? What was interesting about the personnel that ended the game? Including both teams, the 22 players on the pitch. There's an interesting observation to be had.
Were they all wearing the shirt numbers 1 to 11?
No. 3 of the 4 fullbacks had all come through the Palace Academy.
Oh, how did I not fucking spot that?
Private Mitchell, Nathaniel Klein, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Oh my god!
Oh, Klein came on. Yeah, I was like,
amateur.
Yes, we had him in the academy and we never played him.
And Mikael Ligerwood was in the stands.
Interesting fact about Mikael Ligerwood is
he was shit.
I went to school with his brother. He was.
I liked him. Does he listen?
I mean, you wouldn't say in front of his brother Abutu. Fucking hell, he was a unit. He was a mass. Even when we were like 13, he was like a man.
Yeah, what does he look like now?
I'll show you a picture after. We're still friends on Facebook.
Oh,
yeah, no. You still can't tell him that his brother shouldn't have made that foul. But anyway,
only Palace player to score with a star jump though.
Oh,
remember that?
I do remember that.
Against
Tottenham, wasn't it?
Spurs, yeah.
That was the anniversary of which was today, I think.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Get out of town.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Footballogy letting you know, is that what it was?
But the back post star jump.
Look, this is on the Palace
way.
On
That's
the Palace
unbelievable.
app today, and it begins. This is for you. 20 years ago. Palace produced the best performance of the season to stun fellow Londoners Tottenham on a memorable day at Selhurst Park. There you go.
And as you know, I definitely haven't seen that fucking article.
Wow, look at that. It's almost
Jesus Christ. And a goal from Danny Granville as well.
Yeah. Was that a free kick?
Oh, fucking hell.
Am I imagining that?
Whatever it was overshadowed by the back post star jump.
He slid home a ball, Danny Granville.
No,
I'm showing them a photo.
My knowledge at that time's awful. I wasn't going. I was playing football at that time, so I wasn't actually there that season.
I was still dazzled by the star jump. That's all I remember of that game.
Okay. Do we need to do a man of the match? I think it's probably quite obvious, isn't it?
I think you and I would agree that it was JP. I don't know what Albert would say.
Yeah. Just edges it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Sarr is very quickly just becoming my default man of the match, and I know what you're going to say. You don't have to fucking say
it. We're all thinking it.
You can resurrect all your Watford signs that you held up for him and just cross out Orns and put Eagles.
Yeah, I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's just absolutely settled in. And
Hesketh listeners is holding up a Palace Watford programme that says Orns on it.
From 2000.
Weirdly had it immediately to hand, which is very strange.
I haven't got any of those in my fucking house at all.
Yeah, that's because you only have to open your window and look out.
Yeah.
Bathe in the floodlights.
Okay, so we're on to Brentford on the weekend, unless I'm imagining things. We've got Brentford this weekend.
Yeah,
we were conveniently placed one place above us in the league and only 1 point ahead of us. So our next target is in sight. bit more of a challenge based on the results we've picked up recently. Obviously, we've had a good draw against City in our run. We've had a good draw against Chelsea, but probably caught Chelsea at a good time to catch them, and arguably maybe could have won that game as well. But, you know, our other wins have been against Southampton, Leicester, West Ham, who it was quite visibly not where they need to be. And I think Fulham must be absolutely kicking themselves for managing to lose there a few days before us. So a little bit more of an upturn, although Brentford conveniently have started to get some results away from home now, albeit Hesketh against Southampton.
Yeah, quite a good upturn in that game as well. They won 5-0, didn't they?
And it could have literally been 10.
Yeah.
Southampton were dreadful.
I mean, yeah, they're a good team. I think the optimists amongst us, which is not me, could point to them also losing at home to Plymouth, who were 5-0 down at half-time today at home. But they're a good team.
Come back, Wayne Rooney, all is forgiven.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Brentford are a good team. I think it is going to be a tough game. We are in good form. I think that should give us a lot of confidence. But I don't think we can be as passive as we were in the first half against Leicester and to a smaller degree against West Ham. I think we're going to have to play as we did in the second half against West Ham, really, in order to get a result. But we should be confident. I mean, you know, we're doing all right. We're looking pretty comfortable. We're looking pretty confident. JP's on form. Eze's hopefully coming into things a bit more because he's got goals and assists in however many games in a row now.
Yeah, 4 games in a row.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are things that I think Brentford fans will be like, oh, great, Palace. Just as we start to play Palace, all these things happen. So, should be confident. I'm not confident because I never am. But certainly it's a game that we should really be looking to win. And in the form we're in, I think Glasner will really go all out for us to win this game.
Albert, how do you feel about moving up above the position of 12 to the heady heights of 11?
I might need like a brown paper bag to breathe into if it happens. But look, yeah, you know, Brentford, I think it's 1 win in 8 or 1 win in 9. Seem to have scored all their goals against one team, the aforementioned Southampton. And you know, and the wider footballing narrative around Brentford is, you know, they're a good side, they do really well. And you know, we're 1 point off them, and you know, like you say, win on Sunday, and we leapfrog them. As long as we score more goals than Wissa, because you know he likes to bang them in against us, and I think Mbuemo's got a fairly decent record against us as well. Yeah, we shouldn't. As Hesketh says, this is a game that 3 months ago, we'd have been sat here going, you know, we really got to beat Brentford, and it might have been disappointing or a loss or a draw. But the path that we're currently treading, and certainly the path that they're currently treading in terms of their form over the last handful of games, yeah, we really need to impose ourselves on them. Not just in the second half. Let's try and sort of get at them early because why not? You know, let's try and put everyone at ease because we know we can improve in the second half, and it's always nice to know that there's always going to be a little bit of a gear shift if we need it in the second half. It seems to be something that we're now sort of known for, but you know, we shouldn't be afraid. We're at home. They're not in great shakes. Let's go at them and try and get ahead early. Like Stockport, but better for the next 92 minutes.
Yeah. So Brentford have lost 6 of their last 9. The only win in that run is the 5-0 at Southampton. But
yeah.
There's a good chance Southampton are going to end up as the worst Premier League side of all time. That Derby record is certainly in jeopardy. Well, jeopardy's not the right word for it, is it? But yeah, so not much to write home. But Hesketh usually views that as this will be the game they turn it around in. So
it's the games where people start getting confident that I start to worry.
Indeed. Well, they've had in their last 9 in all comps, lost to Chelsea, lost to Newcastle, lost to Forest, drew with Brighton, lost to Arsenal, beat Southampton, lost to Plymouth, drew with Man City, lost to Liverpool. So they've had some tough games in there.
Yeah, that's a tough run.
Didn't beat Man City. Come on. Okay, everyone's doing that these days. Not us.
They come back from 2-0 down, didn't they? Yeah.
As did PSG tonight.
To win 4-2. Yeah, spoiler alert if you haven't looked at the score's already 12 hours after the fact.
Yeah. And if you haven't, it's probably not a spoiler.
Indeed.
You're welcome, in fact.
So, okay, then, quick predictions. What are you going for, Hesketh?
1-1.
You know.
I didn't even need to ask.
yeah.
I just mouthed it as you said it.
Oh, yeah, we love a draw, don't we? We do love a draw with this lot. I think we're going to beat 2-1.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the first half and second half, a lot of me wonders is that because he knows we've got such a good defence this season, he's just having the first half as it is to take a look tactically at the other team, keeping it tight, and then making the adjustments at half time and kicking on. So, yeah, I'll go 2-0 Palace. Will 2 second half goals again, 3 2-0s on the bounce. That'll do.
I'll take that.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. And well, especially if both goals from Mateta. Did I have was Mateta involved in my outrageous prediction at the beginning of the season?
I can't remember that far back.
I feel like I might have said that he'll beat AJ's Premier League record for us.
Bloody hell. That's quite outrageous.
What's he on now? 8 Premier League goals?
Yeah.
This season. What is it? What's he in total? 10 for the season, 8 in the Prem.
Yeah.
1 hat trick all of a sudden jumps him up. Maybe.
What did AJ get? 21.
21, yeah. But 10 penalties or 11 penalties?
They still count, all right?
No, of course they still count, especially given Mateta's penalty on the weekend.
Fuck, just about counted. Yeah, he ain't beating that. I'm sorry. I hate to play to the narrative, but I can't see him beating that.
Really looking forward to creating that boom jingle at the end of the season when he gets his 22nd.
Mate, I'd love to listen. I'd love to be proved wrong. Of course I would.
I've got form. I've got to back up my outrageous prediction victory from last season as well.
Imagine the contract he'll ask for if he scores 22 goals this season.
Well, as I say, I think we've got an option on an additional year on his contract anyway, I think. So
yeah,
we would not be turning that down, will we? So, talk to Wilfried Zaha, Mateta. You're here for the long run. You're not going anywhere. Right. Anyway, that's enough for this week. Thanks to everyone, as always, for listening. Thank you, Hesketh. Thank you, Albert. Always a pleasure to chat to you guys.
Thank you.
And